sometimes I wonder if it's experience, where as you get older, you feel more comfortable. You know that you've learned from your mistakes and you actually feel more comfortable sharing those stories with others. Um, the key is to try to get everyone to feel comfortable with that. I think when I was younger, I felt like I had to be perfect. And so it was harder for me to share or to discuss if I didn't know something. But it is so important. I think as I get older, I truly, truly try to share more about my life's experiences, my professional experiences, not just my successes. I actually talk a lot about what I've learned throughout the course of my career. And that I think I've gotten direct feedback from a number of people that are either I'm peer sponsoring or I'm mentoring, that they said that that's very valuable to hear about that, because there is this fear sometimes that you can't share a failure with your boss. And so if you can create an environment where you allow people, to skin their knees and to learn, that's the best type of experience that you can ever have. And I think postmortems are very similar to that, right? So you're learning throughout the course of a period of time, and it's going to help you to just get better. That again, tying back to that continuous improvement. Before I toss it to the group, I had written down some questions that I tend to use, and if you have others, go ahead. But I'm going to read off a few to just create kind of that safe environment for discussion. So what were the goals and objectives of what we were trying to achieve? Let's first make sure there's alignment. What were the successes and achievements? So always start on the positive note, right? So what went really well? So Alistair, to your previous example, hey, we may have had a fire in our building, but the response was great. The fire extinguisher training that we did, somebody picked up the fire extinguisher and did the right thing. This person called 911. Somebody pulled the fire alarm. We had a great evacuation, whatever, right? So what were those positives? And then what were the challenges and obstacles that were encountered? And this is where you probably need to say to the team, I want honesty. I want candor. Let's put the fish on the table. Let's talk about all of them and list them. And then, certainly what could we have done different? I just think those open questions to start and spark conversation.
I want to also back up a little bit and talk about something that um, probably a good thing to build into teams is the whole concept of working agreements, right? So if you can set those up front and you can talk about the concept of not even the concept, but the practice of psychological safety. It's like, this is how we're going to treat each other. We are going to, keep things that we talk about here in confidence. We are going to respect people when they come to the table and they've said they've admitted that they've made a mistake here. We're going to support each other through difficult times. So to have those working agreements right up front. So Tracy, when you ask those questions, right, then people say, I already know this is a safe environment, and I already know maybe one of the working agreements is we're going to do postmortems, right? So I already know these questions are coming, so I can be prepared to be transparent, and authentic, and honest, and say, this is my piece in this. This is what I saw, and this is what I think we could do better, and what I'm committing to do better. So yeah, backing up to those working agreements, setting that tone for this is how we're going to work and how we're going to treat each other right up front. So when you get into those tough conversations, it makes it a little bit easier to navigate through.
And two, depending on the team dynamic, how large the team is, how cordial or not the team might be, there could be other options for how to get that information from people. So if it's not a team where psychological safety has been established, or maybe you have a few people that tend to dominate a conversation, you can have people fill out a survey, anonymous or not, prior to the postmortem meeting, so people already have an opportunity to share their thoughts, their feelings, their maybe they fill out a SWOT analysis on their own, and then you come together and discuss that, as opposed to expecting people to bring up their concerns or failures in front of each other. You can kind of put it behind a veil of anonymity at first, and then discuss it as a group to help establish that safe space to do so.
Yeah, really great point, Paige. And having been fresh off doing a DISC assessment facilitation and other interaction styles facilitation, I've just seen the value of how people respond when they know more about other people, right? And so if you've got somebody who's more introverted or who's more data focused or who's more group harmony focused, people know that and they say, oh, this is why Steve's acting this way or interacting this way, or I haven't heard from Steve for a while on this. Let me see what's going on with him, and do that in a way that is just facilitates good interaction with the team. So so having that knowledge about the other team members and being able to draw them in, or maybe, to your point, Paige, quiet them a little bit. So
I think you make a really good point about drawing out the quiet members of the team, and both of you kind of commented on that. And I think that that's really important, to get those folks talking. And like you said, Steve, maybe doing a round robin so everybody has that opportunity. And then that coaching behind the scenes to make sure that people come with something to say. I've mentored a number of nurses, and they'll get to the leadership table, which usually takes a lot, and then they'll say, oh no, I don't have anything this month. It's like, oh no, 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 you fought too hard to get here, you have to have something to say. So coming armed with something is always important.